worried about folks who missed the beginning.
Awesome. And do you guys know how many people you had sign up? Oops.
We had a couple dozen, I think. I'll need to double check.
Okay.
Looks like we'll put this on. Yeah, we had 24 sign up, and then we'll put this on YouTube afterwards. Hey, everybody. Hello, Scott, Jamie, Crystal. So let me go ahead and share for Scott and Charlie and Crystal and Jamie. Why don't y'all take a picture of this, and we're going to go live, or we're going to put it on Facebook to tell everyone we're going live. This is what I was coached to do. So this is my very first time doing this. So Britany, I understand that you've got, you mentioned you had some like Canvas slides that you wanted to go over today.
Yeah, I decided to. What is? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
So Randy, for some reason, is repeating Spencer. Like when.
Oh no.
No.
Hearing me once is hard enough. Hearing me a second time is pretty brutal.
Let me see something here. Maybe it's me with technical difficulties. 1 second, guys.
Is there another tab you're logged in as a viewer?
And that's what it was. Yep.
All right. Critical thinking, problem solving. That's what we do here. I've got my thinking cap on.
Got it done. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Awesome. So I just decided, instead of me just going off the riff, because I can do that, most people are better visual learners. So I did create a presentation to flow through everything we're going to be talking about that just really gets into how my team grew by 200% last year. Crazy stuff. Are we gonna like go ahead and get it ripped off, or you want to wait for more folks to join us, Randy?
Let me do this. I'll just do a quick little introduction. Not that you need one, but Britany is the team leader of Max House. She has been growing like a weed, which is what we're going to cover today. But I don't think it was always this way.
No.
If I'm not mistaken.
No.
Right? You know, you've run a team for a while. I think you recently rebranded to Max House, I thought, or maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we rebranded last year, actually. Last year.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So Britany is not this overnight success. You know, it's the 10 years to be an overnight success kind of deal. She's not someone who was handed things to her on a silver spoon. Right? She didn't get struck by magical lightning and get superpowers. She is very much a biological human being like everybody else who just put in the hard work to get the results that we're talking about today. So I just want to be super clear that Britany's human and she's doing things that are hard, but that everyone's capable of doing. And I'm really grateful for her to be with us today and talk about those things because she has the abundance mindset, and that's how we operate over here at Ruuster. At no point is this going to be a Ruuster sales pitch. This is going to be Britany pouring into everyone here today of what she did to get her systems in place, her people in check, and her leadership skills sharpened. And so that's all I really have to say. Just wanted to set the stage there. And Britany, please take it away. Well, Spencer, do you have anything you wanted to share?
No, I mean, I think you covered it. I do think you should look in. You're looking a little blurry over there, man. I think you need some real internet down there in Florida.
I'd prefer not to have any internet at all, but then I couldn't do my job.
Down by the water. Yeah, you need to fix that camera. Come on now. Y'all do enough webinars to know. Like, you have to have the solid tech.
I'm gonna get rid of the virtual background. I assume that's the problem.
It's the dial-up internet down there, dude.
But let me go in here and see if y'all made me presenter. All right, let's see. Goodness gracious, and me and my 1,000 slides that I have. Okay, there it is. Y'all see that now on your end?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So first of all, thank you guys for the opportunity to be here and pouring back into this community that I loved. I've been a real estate agent now for 9 years, officially last Friday. And I'll be honest, y'all, I did not set out to build a team. I got into real estate. I didn't even this is not on the slides at all, but this is me. I go off a tangent sometimes and I feel like passionate and convicted about things. But I just want to take you guys back to why I got into real estate, because I think that sets a standard for where some team leaders are and where some agents are too when they start on this journey. Like, our mission tends to evolve with what we learn and we grow as a person, and that's totally like allowable. And I think that people need to just surrender to that. Like, what you want will change and grow as you learn things. Maybe you hit your head up against something and you're like, oh, I didn't like the way that felt, or this isn't the journey I really feel called to do. So you pivot and choose another avenue in which you serve people through real estate. So I started out on a real estate team myself. I just really joined that team because I bought my first house in 2017 as a single woman, and I wanted to make sure I did not fail. So I started on a team and I became a lead buyer agent, closed 36 deals my first 6 months in real estate in 2017. And then my team leader was like, hey, you're really great at talking to sellers too. How about you come over here and be a listing agent? And did that for 2.5 years. Went on another team for 9 months and decided that it was time to spread my wings in April of 2020, right as COVID hit. Thank God that the Knoxville market, we just continued to grow. Now we're like the fastest growing market in America. But what that turned into was me not being able to service all the buyers and sellers that were coming out of the woodworks. And so the Boat Ride Group started in June of 2021. The next month I discovered I was pregnant, and I was like, well, husband, I got this team. I can't let folks down. I need to put systems in place, because now I had salespeople to service those buyers, but we didn't have systems in place. So that's where all of this came from. Like, there's been different iterations of my team. We've grown, we've shrunken down, and all of it came from like out of necessity and not wanting to let my people down. So I'm going to talk about the people. I'm going to talk about the systems, talk about leadership that determines it all. But just wanted to quickly give you guys a behind the scenes look at where I was, because me building a team was not my initial mission. It was really just to help people like build wealth themselves, but to also have a career in which I determine the ceiling. I've always been in a sales and service oriented role, and I felt that real estate was the right vehicle in order for me to live the life of my wildest dreams. Little did I know that would turn into me now having this massive organization that I do have, alongside having a mortgage venture with that. So let's hop into this. As the guy said, we are a top ranked team. So we're top 1% in the nation, number 4 with Real Trends as far as size for the state of Tennessee, and number 5 in volume. We have 40 agents on my team now, a full operations staff, director of sales, director of operations. We have virtual assistants for VA, ISAs, all of that to keep my agents running and gunning, as I like to call it. In the 3 pillars we're going to talk about, systems, people, and leadership. We're going to cover this, and I'm going to spend real time in each one of these just to let them breathe. And I'm going to also give you some stuff that y'all can act on today. I don't like for people to just take these go to webinars, go to trainings, and all they do is like have a notebook. Like, I have a notebook right here. Have a notebook full of crap in it, and like they don't execute on it. So I'm going to ask some questions. There's also at the end of the presentation this workbook that you can actually download and start to problem solve within yourself. Like, where do I see these issues show up in my organization, to where if I'm truly honest and I look in the mirror, I can make changes today to turn my organization around. So I had some stuff to say drop in the chat, but because we've already had technical issues, y'all, do people drop stuff in the chat on the way that y'all host it, or should I just get past that?
There's an audience chat.
Okay, yeah. So team leaders, or even if you are a solo agent, you're a top producer, you're thinking about growing out a team, if y'all can drop, like, what's the number one thing holding you back right now with your team? Is it the systems? Is it the people? Is it you as the leader? I'm just genuinely curious on where you guys are feeling stuck right now with your team.
I'll get it started. I'll do the first chat.
Yeah. Generating more opportunities for my team members. Love that. And just so y'all know, hey, Cody, hi, I'm the problem. Cody, are you a team leader or are you a solo agent?
He's a team leader.
Team leader. Okay. First of all, Cody, I love that you said that because most folks will not admit it. And I save leadership for last because that's the place we're going to spend the most amount of time because leadership is a lead. I love that. You're a team lead. I'm also a team leader out here in Knoxville, Tennessee, Cody. So let's connect. Spencer says knowing when to hire leadership staff along the way. That's a big one. You guys, if you don't have a coach, it's not a coaching pitch. Like we're not pitching for anything. I will say though, since 2017, even as just an agent on someone else's team, I've always had a coach. So I had a productivity coach back then. Now I have 3 coaches. Like I'm that insane person because I wanted to get better in different parts of my life. I have one for speaking because that's one of my goals. I have one for building out my team, and I have one for marketing. Like 3 different coaches. They all do great different things, but it helps me propel my business, my organization, and my people forward. So thank you, Cody, for being honest. Crystal says, just starting a team. I have been on a team until this week and now starting my own. We love that. So looking to grow in leadership and systems. Thank you so much, Crystal. I'm going to, y'all, what I'm going to share is so simple. But I feel like a lot of people will skip this stuff because we want to first go to, as I think Spencer said it, or no, Randy said it, giving more opportunities. That's a trap. Randy, I'm so sorry. I love you so much. I'm going to tell you guys, and y'all know I'm tied with Easy Home Search and the things that Travis over there tells me. I was also that person where I was like, at first, I need to make sure I have all these leads, all this tech, all this stuff built out, and then the people will come. Y'all, that left me so broken and frustrated. And we'll talk about why. So, Randy, putting you on the spot right here. I'm not talking about that stuff. Like that's great and everything, but until you get these 3 things down packed, none of that matters. I should have asked you guys before we hopped on. Is it okay if I cuss a little bit? Because I do tend to cuss when I get passionate. Let me know if I don't.
Let it rip. Be you. If that's part of your thing, you do it.
And I hope y'all in the comments, like, I love Jesus, but I cuss, so I hope y'all are okay with that. Like, just let me know. All right, so I'm gonna be myself. But Randy, I'm so happy you said that because that gives me full permission to like straight destroy that thinking of yours.
Please tear it down.
Tear it down.
We're here to destroy arguments.
I love it. I love it. So let's just hop into it, guys. These 3 things, though, they can either drive growth and efficiency or lead to stagnation and failure if not properly managed. They can also lead to you being broke AF if you are setting out to build a team. So let me not hop ahead of myself. My assistant was like, Britt, I know you. You won't even click on the slides. You're going to just talk, which I can do that, but I want to be structured for you guys. So what I was going to say, though, is that if you do not surrender to these 3 things, new people building a team, so the Codys out there, the Crystals, guys, you will find yourself wasting a lot of money and you will be very frustrated about why nothing's working right in your organization. You need to slow down and speed up. Truly adopt these 3 things I'm going to talk about, and I promise you 200% growth, 100% growth, hell, just growth overall is possible. The very first thing, though, is systems. I know it's not the sexy part. Like everybody thinks that the systems are boring, but it's really the foundation of everything. For me in 2021, when I started my team, again, I started with 2 sales agents. I was only forced to slow down and think about systems because I started in June, July 7th, my husband brought home a pregnancy test and was like, you have to be pregnant. And I'm like, oh shit. Now I have to have systems in place because without systems, I cannot take a 5 to 6 month maternity leave because sales agents, they're not going to do what they need to do. They're going to go out there, get clients signed up, and it's going to be chaotic. So I was forced to put systems in place because I had a baby on the way, right? So when I say systems, I don't just mean the cadence of follow up. I don't mean like having a CRM. I don't mean what happens behind the scene for transaction coordination or listing coordination. I mean having a cadence in which is something that you can teach one of your agents and have them repeat the process just the way you have to make sure they hit the goal that they're trying to hit. So for my team leaders out there, the question would be, if I walked out of my business tomorrow, could my team run without me? For me, another backstory, I know that this works because I'll go ahead and just tell y'all some more of my story. So I know this works because in 2022, after we had the baby, after my team was growing and launching, I found out that I was going to have to fight for my life and overcome breast cancer that was fast growing at the same time that I started my real estate firm. We had grown so much that it was time to open a firm. And a week ahead of that grand opening, I had the first chemo injection into my body. And if I did not have systems in place, that firm will not have grown to 98%. We closed 98 million actually. We closed 98 million our first year as a firm with me going through 18 months of treatment as a leader. But it was these systems that I put in place that made sure that I had a company that grew and scaled without me having to be there for everything. So when I talk about those systems, it is you need to teach your agents how to do something. I think a lot of times, and it's like not our fault, if you went to college or you went to high school even, you sat through lectures where they told you like, here's what you need to know to pass the exam and check the box. But there was not a lot of time in how to do something. So when I started my team, and I was forced to step out of being the main person driving the revenue, driving the production, I had to edify two members of my team and my coach, going back to coaching at the time. She said, Britany, there is a way for you to fight for your life, raise your son, and still build a profitable business. And I said, well, how? And she said, well, pick two people that you edify. Make sure that they say, walk, and talk just like you do into every appointment, meeting every single buyer or seller. And what was so, I look back on that now, what was so incredible about that was that these two agents were brand new to the industry. One of them, he's been my number one agent for 3 years now. He is now going to be leading my Knoxville expansion. Chase, I would have chemo on a Thursday, and then that Friday I would say, guys, come over. I'm pumped with steroids. I feel great. Let's run through the seller presentation. We would go to one another's houses. They would come to my house, Chase, the other girl's house, and I would see them model the listing presentation, and to where they were able to replace, as brand new agents in real estate in 2022 when the market shifted, they were able to replace my production plus some. So that's what I mean by teaching people how to do it and not just know it. You're going to teach the action behind the knowledge, not just have them take notes, but say, okay, now that y'all have this 10-minute framework, let's actually walk through the framework. That's where a lot of team leaders get stuck, and where, Crystal, do not get stuck in this, where you'll teach your client, you'll teach your agents a training, right? And you're like, they should know this. We've talked about this 5 or 6 times. And then my question would be, well, have you modeled it for them? They need to be able to see that. And within Max House, actually, guys, our brand new agents to our team on our team agreement, they understand from the get-go that they do not take listings. They must first close 10 buy-side deals, and after that, go on pre-listing appointments. One of them, they set the appointment, either myself or another lead listing agent goes with them, and that person runs the appointment for them. The second time, they do it in tandem, so they feed off each other. That lead agent will allow them to lead it, and if they get stuck, they'll step in naturally. And then the third time, that new agent is to do the entire presentation on their own. Then, if the lead agent feels as though they delivered it and they closed the seller, then they'll be able to take listings on their own. But we do have the system that must be followed. So it goes back to, I remember giving agents leads for sellers. And I'm like, why aren't we converting more sellers? I'm paying all this money per month. Well, nobody taught them how to do it correctly. We just said, here's a script book, read the freaking book. You got it, you figure it out. Like, I was at a brokerage, y'all, when I first started. And this brokerage, they hand you this book. I still got this book on my freaking desk, okay? And everybody's like, the best real estate book ever. And I'm like, I ain't never read the shit, so I don't even know what it says. But what I do, though, is that I take action. I'm like, okay, I heard this at a webinar. She told me it works. I'm just going to go do it because that's just how I roll. So don't overthink it, and make sure your agents don't overthink stuff. When you teach them something, tell them it's more impactful by just doing it. And guys, stop me if somebody else has a question in the chat. All right. So the wrong way, agents need to be able to know and memorize the buyer presentation. The right way is agent needs to be able to deliver the buyer presentation using the conversion framework such that they adapt to 4 different communication styles across top buyer concerns. As a team leader, I think that a lot of times we shoot past the target and we forget what is now like remedial to us is like excellence to someone else. I struggle with that, meaning in layman terms, what I know now that is so like fundamental is like groundbreaking to some folks. I sit with some 20-minute meetings because we're in growth mode. And I sat yesterday with somebody for a 20-minute coaching section, a team member of mine, and some stuff that they didn't know. I'm like, how the heck don't you know that? You've been in real estate for 8 years, but then we tend to forget what we know that's excellence and a standard to us is, I mean, what we know is just, you know, a normal day, a normal Wednesday for us is excellence for someone else, guys. So make sure you write out every system that you do as a team leader to where you can train someone else. So how you talk to a buyer, how you talk to a seller, how you negotiate after the repair replacement, how you negotiate closing costs, how you talk to a co-op agent. That may sound so silly, but people are people, y'all. And I don't know, in 2026 in Tennessee, people are just wild. And I don't know if it's the same thing across where you guys are, but how to have effective communication never goes out of style. So be sure you train your agents on the art of the negotiations, on how to show a house. I have a training on how to show the house because I had people join my team and they would say, yeah, I open the door, I stand in the kitchen and, you know, they tell me if they like it or not. No, there's a system to all this. There's a method to every part of the madness. So you as a team leader have to get it out of your head to make sure every agent on your team is equipped with the right tools, the right framework, and the right conversation tracks to have success. So
stop me real quick if I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Are you going to cover the conversion framework? When it says agents need to be able to deliver the buyer presentation using the conversion framework? Can we unpack that a little bit?
I didn't have that on here, Randy. Trust me. I was like, I got an hour, which is really 45 minutes. I'm a fast talker, but I don't think I would have time to cover that.
Totally fair.
Yeah, no, it's fine. If y'all want me back on another webinar, you have my information. I'm happy to come back. Super happy to come back and talk about
now
that.
I know what we're going to do for number 2.
Now I'm committed, Shelley.
Y'all stay tuned.
You got me on camera committing to it. But yeah.
We have witnesses and everything.
Yeah, you did. Like Charlie, my admin is sitting right here. Y'all like, who the heck is Charlie? My most favorite thing to do is to talk through scripting. And we do, so also team leaders on here. The way that we model and demonstrate, so we have standards for which people have to adhere to stay on our team. And if they don't do the standards, we just say, hey, your leads are cut off. Let us know when you want to get back on lead flow. Something we implemented in 2025 actually did not also make the slides. Y'all, I could have went so many ways. I tried to dumb it down to 3 things, but let me talk real quick though about the conversion framework. So besides these 3 things I'm talking about, like script practice is Tuesday and Thursday on my team, and I love it. And how that looks is we all get on Google Meets at 9 o'clock. We wrap it up by 9:30. It's usually till 9:15, but if they have questions, we go till 9:30. We have an agent volunteer to be the buyer. The other one is the agent, and then we cut off all cameras. They role play. Once that person finishes, the agent that was the buyer gives feedback. And then we go and we pick out our top dogs. So you're not calling out agents who, because we did this before, I did it wrong, so don't do this. We used to call out everybody on the team, and everybody would be like, yeah, attaboy, you did great. That was so good. And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I calling out people who I know their words are whack as hell? So we started like picking out the people that had the best conversion and saying, hey, you need to give them feedback. You can sandwich it, good, bad, great. Give them real feedback to help them move their conversations forward. So now we have script and role play, and it's so good. Like, it's my favorite. And my director of growth would be like, Britany, are you going first or last? And they're usually like, let Brit go last. She's just going to tear it all apart. And I love tearing them down and then building them back up. That's because nobody gets better if you just pat them on the back and tell them they did awesome. Like, I love being honest with people, and my team respect that. another part of leadership we're going to get to in a minute. But that's one of the ways in which we help our conversion increase. But it starts from that conversation, then it goes to making sure they show up to the appointment, and then it goes to what are you saying in the appointment, and then it goes to what you're doing after the appointment, just to help those. Like, it's a white glove service. Again, we can talk about that at a later time. Y'all got me committed to that. Can't believe you got me.
Yeah, and it was your idea too. I'm sorry.
Listen, all right. The next thing, okay, yeah, we talked about this. So it needs to be very specific. Make sure that I find that a lot of stuff is like you don't have clarity around it. And in my coaching circle, we always say coaching clarity is kindness. So if you are super ambiguous about what you want out of the meeting you have or the conversations you have with your agents, they're going to be like unclear in the meetings. I had an agent this morning tell me, Britany, I've been having so many great real estate conversations this week. They've crushed it. 13 conversations for the week. And I'm like, great. How many appointments you said? What does your follow-up look like? They're like, oh, we didn't get to that part, but we talked about the houses. I'm like, no, you go into every conversation with a goal in mind. Yes, we're here to serve people. Yes, we need to know their motivation and get their timeline out of them. But you as the agent, your goal should always be to get belly to belly. So agents, when you are, and team leaders, when you're making your training, make sure you also tie it into what's the outcome I want my agents to achieve from taking this training. And if it's to increase their conversion rate, for show up to the appointments, that's a big one. For converting from buyer to seller, like that, always have a goal in mind. Like Simon Sinek says, always start with the why in mind. And if you start with the why, it will make your training more impactful so people will understand why it's important to them. If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. The same thing with your CRM. Doesn't matter what CRM you use. If it's not there, it doesn't exist. But for us as team leaders and folks that are looking to grow out a team, if you don't have a standard written down, an operating procedure written down, it doesn't exist. You might as well pretend like your teammates have not heard it, because I promise you they'll say, Britt, I didn't know that. Like, they will literally say it's your fault as a team leader, and it is your fault at that point. Every process has to be documented step by step so that when someone new joins, you can scale out. Meaning it's duplicatable, it's repeatable, it's on autopilot. That's the way that we have our onboarding set up. So our onboarding, to give you guys, onboarding week is this week. We have 7 new ladies joining Max House. So proud of that. But we have a cadence we follow. I know on Monday, I'm full tilt from 9 to 2. I'm leading day 1 of Excellence Week is what we call our onboarding. And then we have from Monday to Monday, things that they do. Right now, they just got a script. Some of them are brand new to real estate and they're making dials inside of our database. And then by Monday, either they graduate Excellence Week or they don't. We offboard them. But from there, we have 86 more days in which they have to do the things that my sales director tell them is important for the foundation of their business. And if they don't do those things, then we say, you don't want to do things the Max House way. I'm so sorry. We're not the team you're meant to go with. Go out there, be blessed, find the right team for you. Something else that did not make the slides, but was a big, big, big part of our growth last year. And also me just having more fun being in alignment with the right team. So write it down. If it doesn't exist, it's not written down. So for my team leaders, question for you. What process only lives in your head right now? Crystal and Cody, what process do you guys have that only lives in your head, and you know you crush it with this process, but you guys just have not slowed down to teach your agents?
I first had this concept explained to me as the bus test. If you were to walk out into the street and you were hit by a bus, would your business survive? Like, what would die with you?
That's harsh, but that's real. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is, right? Like, tribal knowledge is not good. Right?
Yeah, Cody, nothing. It's all getting documented in a searchable company portal. I love it. So you have it all templated out in a portal. Portals is such a big thing. I don't know about y'all, but I've been loving lovable AI to just build out every single thing now. I'm like an FAQ, put it in the portal. Like everything is in a portal. The 86-day tracker is down the portal. We used to have spreadsheets upon spreadsheets. But yes, Cody, I love that. Just Crystal says, how to show a home. I love how you explain that you need to train them how to properly show a home. We train on listing appointments, but training on showings is great. Yes, because a lot of times I see this in a Knoxville market. Not sure if you guys do. Most of our sellers show up in the form of buyers, meaning how we show up to that first showing determines that they're going to actually hire us to sell their biggest asset. So why not show up prepared? I have an agent on my team. His name is Logan. He talks to every freaking body. Logan joined me in January as a brand new agent. And already now he is the one that actually leads the class on how to show homes. Because what Logan has been able to accomplish is he has now had 18 Zillow buyers that have shown up to his appointments, and he signed all 18 of them to a buyer rep.
That's amazing.
Brand new in January. So now, I will talk about leadership again, but what I have inside of my team now I'm building up leaders. I'm edifying them like, hey, you're great at this. Your colleagues will respond better to you. How about you go teach the training? And they love it because they get to show off their superpower. And that gives me back time in my day too. So Crystal, yeah, having exactly how to show a home has been game changing because I would have agents join my team and nobody taught them how to do it. They would just go and unlock it and be a door opener. Like the time of COVID are over and done, you're going to waste a lot of time and gas and money and heartache, like being a door opener and not having effective showings.
Britany, for somebody that hasn't started getting all this written down, doesn't have everything documented, it's a little chaotic right now when they're onboarding new agents. When you were realizing you needed to start doing that, did you just think through, what do I need to get written down? And over time you'd run into more, pieces of your business that you needed to document. Do you own 100%? Are you the one sitting in Lovable making these outlines, making the documentation? Did somebody in your organization step forward and say, hey, this really excites me, and you've passed that off? I'm curious to know a little bit more there.
Man, you have to put me. Okay, so I'll be honest. And this is why I have a coach. So I've been coaching my coach since last March. Because like most founders and team leaders, guys, when you're the visionary, sometimes it's very hard to let go and trust people with your baby. Like I had just had a baby. My baby's now 4, but it was so hard for me to let go and trust somebody else because I had got burned from not having the right people around. We'll talk about that in a minute. But to answer your question, Spencer, I'm the one that lives inside of Lovable. Like I've built out like 6 sexy websites. I'm so proud of them. I do give my admin and my operations staff, they have admin access to where they can edit stuff, but nobody messes with my Lovable code. Like they can't mess with my code. I don't want them inside of Lovable messing up the code. They can only add things that they run into based on what agent interaction is like. So constant things the agents say they want, they need, if links aren't working, if they need a document uploaded to the portal, if they want to add on a new preferred vendor, they can do that. But I'm the one that built out the code. I'm the one that built that out. But it did take me time, I will say, and we're going to talk about the people part here, to trust people in their roles. But that's just where a lot of founders get stuck. They trust their vision with other people, and they hire people. I've done this. I've hired people and did not allow them to do their jobs. I got in their way. And going back to the bus example, Randy, I had a coach that said, hey, 2 things. You probably have the wrong people on the bus, or you have the wrong people in the wrong seat on the bus. Meaning I hired people for sales who were more operations minded. I just couldn't see it. My biggest flaw as a team leader is that I see promise in everyone and I want everyone to win. Everybody don't want to win the way Britany wants them to win though. I had to overcome that and realize it. So let's hop into people though, because the culture part is super huge for me. In 2024, I made a decision about our culture that changed a lot of it. For years, when I first started in 21, we only had one core value, and that was integrity. And that went back to me in that first team I was on. I would see top agents on that team sign stuff for their clients. And the team leader knew about it and just turned a blind eye. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's not okay. Integrity is huge for me. So integrity for 3 years, was literally the only one I had. And in 2024, I started to build out our 5 core values. And those changed everything. And it became a filter for who we recruited, who I would keep on the team and who I let go. So team leaders and prospective team leaders, I want you to hear me when I say this. And some team leaders don't agree with this. If a person lives out your core values, they don't cause drama, but they're not necessarily like the top producer, it's okay to keep them on your team. Not everyone wants to be a top producer like you and sell 30, 50, 100 houses a year. And that's okay. So what I try to do now, and it made our culture much healthier and it made me happier because I tried to replicate a bunch of Britany's and that's not possible. What I have to realize that I meet people where they are. I always seek to understand, and whatever their personal definition of success is, if it fits within the bubble of Max House, then it works for me, right? I still have my core value standards. We still do have production minimums that everybody has to adhere to, because if you don't hit our minimums, you might as well go get a job at Wally World, because what are we doing here? But I do have minimums, but I don't set that like these high bars on folks where they feel like, you know, their definition of success isn't enough, because it is, and we shouldn't put that pressure on our agents. So put down your cape, team leaders. You cannot build a thriving organization by trying to save everyone. I realized this because I grew a team from 2022 when we opened up our real estate firm. I had my team, the Boat Ride Group at the time. I had other team leaders I was mentoring, and I also had solo agents. I was just so unclear about the mission, but I wanted to help everyone. Once I put down that cape, though, the end of 24 all the way into 2025, I got laser focused on my team. I got those core values in place. And that's when everybody else started to thrive on my team. The early years, it looked good on the outside. Like we had awards, we were crushing. Remember I said we closed $98 million our first year in business? Yeah, $98 million is huge. But I was unhappy. Like I would come back into my office and it was gossip, it was chaos, there was cliques, like folks didn't get invited to birthday parties. You didn't come to the barbecue, I was there. Monday morning, there was always an odd person out. And so I had to realize that right now I have a team that's for everybody, and nobody was aligned in their mission, their values, that it became super chaotic. And that's when I started hiring for alignment. So when you hire for alignment, you stop managing personalities. And man, did this change everything for us. So now, Crystal, Cody, y'all can steal this. We have a no gossip policy. You have to sign a no gossip policy to join my team. People are like, we've never seen this before. I'm like, yeah, we're different. I don't want to hear you talking shit about people. Like literally. I had to fire my two ladies that ran operations when I found out that they were the ones causing the most amount of drama. This was Thanksgiving ahead of 2023. Fired them both. And I'm not an operations-minded girl, like behind the scenes, like payroll and all that. Oh my gosh. I had to do it though. It was for the best of the company. And I fired my top two salespeople before I went to I fired them both the 1st of January. So right going into 2024.
I will tell you, Britany, you are only the second person I've ever met who has gossip as a fireable offense. And it is an amazing policy.
Yeah. Yeah. And ladies, I love you if y'all are watching this, no shade. We are the most catty sometimes amongst ourselves. And it's really from us judging our own freaking selves. But like, then I have an organization now. We're very balanced, men to women ratio. But that no gossip policy would have saved me a lot of drama in 2023 because it was insane. But I went all the way down to my team just being 2 people. So that was scary. But since then, I've been much happier. My teammates all work together and not against one another, and there's no backstabbing. So I want to talk about our core values: integrity, do the right thing always, even when it costs you. We're solution oriented, and I actually have a map. So team leaders, as you grow your team, and you may be afraid to scale at some point because you're like, there's only one of me and there's so many of them. When it comes to being solution oriented, I have what I named a max mental map, to where before you call me as a team leader, which you're fire, that's probably not a fire, think through these things. Like there's a bubble map, it's a chart. Let me know if y'all want to see that later. But that trains your agents to be empowered and not be like baby birds. I had a lot of baby birds in 2023 and 2022. I don't have baby birds anymore. They know not to come to me. Like my phone does not ring as often as it did when I had less agents. Crazy, but we have these core values in place. We're accountable to our actions and we grow from it. So my agents, we have our CRM where I need to see conversations, but they also have to self-report with a scorecard that I did build out on Lovable. And that scorecard gets emailed to them 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. tracking their activities. How many combos did you have? How many appointments did you go on? Did you sign a buyer or a seller? Did you have a closing? What does your pipeline look like? How many active buyers and sellers are in your pipeline? How close are you to your net GCI and your unit goal? And then they have to make notes about how they feel that day, how the week went. And so when they come to me for a 20-minute coaching call, or my director of growth, if they're in the bottom 30 and 20%, so I coach the top 20% of my agents, they know that on their scorecard also. So like we're exclusive to who you get access to also based on your productivity. It will show across the top of that scorecard. Book a 20-minute meeting with Britany or book a 20-minute session with Shane, depending on where they land. And they know what to expect. They say, hey, I got your scorecard. Here's what you did over the past week, the past 4 weeks, however often we're meeting. And I coach to those things. I used to coach based on how are you feeling today? I'm an empath. Oh, crying on this freaking white couch just sitting in my office. And it was like I became a therapist more so than a team leader, right? I was given handouts and not a hand up and just pulling people out of their stuff and saying, hey, do this. Now I'm a coach, I'm empowered, and my teammates love it more. But I find that also is one of the traps that team leaders fall into, thinking that I need to be everything to them and hear their sob stories and not say, hey, I love you. I know that that's happening for you, but how about this? And I can say this because I went through it. Instead of my personal life and my business being a hot mess, I'm going to make sure one of them is good. Like I'm going to fight for my life in one hand, and I'm still going to go and build this badass business on the other hand. And here's how, right? The other thing, we're community advocates. Super, super important to give back. I believe in generosity. Every quarter we do something with Max House to where we go out and serve the community to help us to live the lives of our dreams. And then lastly, collaboration. This one was huge. So now I don't have any silos. I don't have cliques. I will tell a teammate that comes to me with a problem to call 3 other teammates that I know are crushing it. And they do it every single time. I will also tell people that are thinking about joining Max House, call anyone on my roster. They'll talk to you and tell you the same thing, and they do it. That helps sell my team more than me saying that we're awesome, because now all of my teammates are talking in the same language, and collaboration allows for that to happen. My 5 interview questions, I'm not going to read it to you guys. Y'all can take a screenshot of that. But that helps me to get deeper to see if someone is really aligned in the core values that we have. I did pageants growing up. I did pageants. You're trained to answer questions, and people get really good at answering questions and BSing you. But I found that the deeper I can go with folks, and if the question is tied to something that's important to me, I can start to peel back that onion and really get to the nitty gritty of it. Like I had somebody interview with me one time, and they acted like they loved people. But every single time we would do script and role play, all I heard was I, me, make most amount of money, protect myself here. And I'm like, hey, the consumer does not see themselves inside of anything that you're saying. They don't care about you. So I have these questions as some of my core ones when I'm interviewing people, because if I tell from that first interview that they're just not going to be a good cultural fit, I don't invite them. I don't follow up. I go ghost. Probably bad. I could be a larger team, but I can say that I'm happier now with the team that I have. So yeah, that just says, what 5 questions are you stealing for your next interview? Crystal, Cody, anybody watching? Do you guys have, Cody had to run, but do you guys have questions that you can think of, Crystal, like that you're going to ask folks?
One of my favorite interview questions I ever got was, do you love to win or hate to lose more?
Oh yeah, you posted that, I think, on Facebook. Yeah,
I did.
I definitely hate to lose more. Hate to lose more.
I couldn't agree more. And for a salesperson, I would say that's probably the right answer. For a non-sales role, I'm not sure that it really matters, but in sales, being as competitive as sales is, like, you expect to win. I don't compete with an expectation of a loss, right? So hating to lose is definitely the right answer if you're on the sales side, in my opinion.
Sorry, we got like alarms going off at my office.
There's a club going on in Britany's.
Crystal said, what is their why in real estate? Why did they start? What is success in their eyes? All really good ones. Will you be asking all 5 of these questions on our next new hire? Who's Jamie talking to?
You?
Me?
I don't
think she was saying she's going to steal all 5.
Yeah. I took a screenshot of your questions. Yeah.
I
saved your questions.
Yeah. Crystal, I do always ask their why. And oh my gosh, when they don't have a why, I'm like, let me tell you, when life gets hard, when this career feels very dejecting, you're going to want to throw in the towel. Especially if they do it for money too. I cannot okay, hear me out though. We all do this for money. Let's not lie. Money is good for the good it can do, but who are the people benefited from that good though? That's what it should be rooted in. So yeah, Crystal, the why is a big one for me. If they stumble over it, if I ask them every quarter, because we go over goals quarterly to make sure they haven't lost sight of that. We do go to the board to see where they are each quarter. And if their why is constantly changing, I'm like, they're so unsure about why they're doing this. That's when I see people really struggle. So that's a really big one. Okay, my most favorite one. I only have 14 minutes left. Leadership. And this was the one that really changed the most for me the past 2 years is I became a better and more effective leader. Your growth as a leader directly influences your team's performance and morale. Oh my goodness. We got all the stuff happening right now. Let me ignore that. Okay. But it will shape the culture of your organization and the resilience of it. And what I know as a leader, what you do in the dark will always show up in the light. There's a lot of team leaders I know that started back in the COVID boom in 2021 and everything was great. And you know them personally, you're like, hey, you're not that person you're preaching to be to your teammates. And now I look around and a lot of those teams don't exist anymore. So for me, leadership is like living out those core values. And then also not being the one to jump ship. So when it gets hard, and it will get hard at any point of a leadership journey, like I wanted to burn down the whole boat. Just wanted to say, you know what, I'm burning it down. When I fired my top 2 people and I only had 2 agents left because some folks started to self-select out, I wanted to quit. But as a leader, you're the one that has to stay the course when times get rough, especially in moments of uncertainty. And I'm going to go back to my teammate, Chase, the one that now has been with me the longest, who's leading my expansion in Nashville. In 2024, at the beginning of that January, I told him, I said, hey, it could just be you and I. We can go out and we can just have no drama. We can build this thing. You can sell a lot of homes and all of this. And Chase said something to me that really stood out. And this is going back to having the right people. Chase told me, he said, Britany, I did not join you to have you give up on your mission. He's like, I believe in what you're building. We were the boat ride group at the time. He said, I believe in what you're building with the boat ride group. And you as a leader, there's no one else I could have followed and had the success that I've had as a brand new agent here from California. I believe we need to find the right people. And I was like, you know what? Dang it. Chase still believes in me. I need to believe in me and just find the right people. And in 2024, I really got down to recruiting and just attracting more of the right folks. I also just so happened to stop drinking that year. But then I got more loud about what I stood for on social media. With that, it will come hate. Who will not like you. You will find yourself, your circle may get smaller, but then you'll start to attract people that are in alignment with your core values. And that's what happened for me. So my team was 18. We went down to 3 at rock bottom, but then we grew back up to 40. And more than half of those people, y'all, which is so amazing, they found me. They've been following me on social media for years, especially the more tenured agents. So I have 10-year plus agents on my team now, and they know my son, they know my husband, they know what we like to do. It's so crazy, and they'll tell me that because I, as a leader, am bold, and because of what I say, and they see the trainings my team does, they see the results my teammates get. They're choosing to follow me as a leader versus the leader they have been working with before. So
this is my favorite part of your story right here, I think.
Really?
Yes, because I think most people stop at that rock bottom piece, or they don't even get to and they never get to the rebuilding with alignment. I don't think a lot of people realize how impactful building with alignment is. I think a lot of folks get nervous about a standard because people find standards intimidating, and recruiting to, I'm assuming alignment is another word for saying your standard.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong there.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh,
Perfect.
And Randy, you said standards can be intimidating. I've been called intimidating by people that aren't on my team anymore. And I'm like literally sitting in my chair and I'm like, Britany, you may think you intimidate people, but you don't intimidate me. And I'm like, dog, all I'm saying is make 20 freaking calls inside a phone. I just want to help you win. But like, they're not my people. They were not my people.
No, that's more a reflection of them than it is you. If they're intimidated, that's not a reflection of you as a person.
I had to be okay with that. And like, now I'm so good. I'm like, you can call me what you want, but like, we're making profit now. And before I would, like I said, I was miserable. I did not like coming to the office. It was chaotic. Nobody really liked each other. They would gatekeep secrets from one another. I'm like, why are y'all being this way? But yeah, growing with the right people is now to where I have many leaders inside of my team. Folks will raise their hand and say, I want to teach this class. Anybody want to come on a showing? Who wants to do an open house? I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Who wants to come watch me model it? And that frees up my time and capacity as a team leader by having those micro leaders inside of my organization now. And that's what really happened in 2025 to make us take off. But then I had to remember that I have to remain committed to the mission on the hard days. And that's where having that why, like Crystal mentioned, and just having tunnel vision around that is the most important thing. There's so much noise and chaos out there, guys. But if you have a mission, even if you're not building a team, you're just a real estate agent, like becoming a top producer, we all have that mission that like is the North Star for us, just guiding us to like where we want to be at the end of the day. But for me, like, I will come in the mornings at 9 a.m. And some days with me, I'm just like on it. I will stay till 7. I will stay up to 2 a.m. and get my butt up and work out because I love it so much now. And it all started from me becoming a better leader, saying what people have to be in my organization and make sure those people adhere to the systems and standards that is Max House. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to skip some slides. So it's really how you scale, you guys. Having systems that are duplicatable, repeatable, getting it out of your head and on paper, tying it to the why and what you want them to have be able to accomplish from the training, and then model it for them. And model it over and over. I think that people fall into the trap of, I have to have new training every time I get in front of my agents. No, you repeat the same stuff over and over because it takes most folks 7 times to hear it in order to like internalize it. So don't feel like you have to get up there and entertain. Stick to the same trainings. Maybe you go deeper once you feel like they're moving along on their conversion track, but don't change up your training. We now have training that we repeat every quarter. So it's a rolling basis. I have 8 core classes that I teach. Yeah, how to write a winning offer. The art of showing is what I call my showing class because it's art and a skill. I name Vibey stuff, but I have those 8 core trainings and they always are on repeat. And what kills me is that I will have agents been with me for like 3 years now, and they're 7-8 years in the industry. And I'm like, oh man, I learned something new. And I'm like, this is your 5th time coming to the class. But that proves my point. You don't have to make up any new training. They already know enough. They just need to execute on the things that they know. So that's the systems. And the people, again, getting the right people in the right bus, they have an avatar. So when you're out there recruiting, you're growing your team. Do not make this mistake. I had a lot of people I was friends with on my team at first. I was like, we're friends. It's going to be great. Y'all, it is so hard to hold your friends accountable because they come in your office. You're like, am I putting on my friendship hat or my leadership hat today? It's so hard. Now I hold a line to where like there's probably 3 people on my team that I'm really friends with that are like been to my house that my son calls like Uncle Chase or Uncle Shane. Like, and that's hard. I get it because you want to love your people, but when you start to blur those lines, it can be really hard to hold a standard because you're too close to that. And then leadership, recognize that if you just surrender to becoming a better leader, everything that you do will get easier. Your people will respect you. You'll have standards that are like non-negotiables, and you'll free up your capacity because you will create many leaders inside of your organization. I do have a download because I'm smart. I know that I talk really fast, and I did skip some slides just now. So if you guys want a free guide on the exact systems I followed, it's a workbook to where you can write down what you're facing and think it through.
And Britany, I know so much of what you've spoken about is the story that Randy and I have been hearing working with team leaders for 10 plus years each. That sense of I thought I was investing in all the right things, and it left me broke, left me frustrated. I felt like I was a therapist instead of a leader. Like, I think that resonates really well, and I think that's what actually makes the growth you're having so impressive. Is that it's not just been luck. Like, things just didn't break your way. It's that you have this this plan and this playbook. And for anybody, I just want to ask, in case there's anybody that's watching this that might want to connect with you on a deeper level, one-to-one, is downloading the guide the best way to do that? Is there another way they could connect with you?
Yeah, if they download the guide, it'll come. It's directly to my website, BritanyBoatwright.com. But they can call me. My cell is 865-386-6082, or connect with me on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. That's where I live. Like, I know people love Instagram, but I'm a grandma. Like, Facebook is my jam. So find me on Facebook. On Facebook, though, my name is Britany Boatwright Johnson. So Johnson is my husband's last name. It will be mine one day when I have time to do all the paperwork. 6 years late. 6 years later, it's so bad. But I'm Britany Boatwright Johnson on Facebook, but my cell is 865-386-6082.
Love it. This was fantastic. I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and check out that download as well.
Thank you, guys. Any questions? We got like 3 minutes. Any questions for you guys that are joining us live? Well, awesome, everybody. I hope everyone has a wonderful end to their week. And for my Crystal, I would love to connect with you offline, just give you more advice, answer any questions you may have starting out a team. I paid a lot of dumb tax, and one of the things that I did that really changed everything for me was getting in the right community with folks. So, sort of like how I first ran upon Spencer and Randy, just the communities we ran in, and just seeing that, wow, there's other team leaders that have the same struggles, being genuinely curious about what they did to overcome those struggles, and then just implementing. Like, don't take too much time overthinking things, guys. Just be like an executor on everything you learn, and y'all will scale for sure.
Love it. Britany, thank you so much for your time and everything that you've shared. And we'll have to be in touch, holding you to that follow-up webinar.
No, the conversion. Hey, it's worked. It's worked. When you break down, because what's super important is like recognizing with your team where in the conversion cog they get stuck. Like, you can't just have more conversations. It's like, no, where are your conversations breaking down? Is it in person, over the phone? They don't show up. Like, so we had to get really like on a granular level, see where we were like falling apart, and that's increased conversion for several of my teammates. So part 2. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Cheers.